Alright, so in this video, I'm going to solve the equation x to the power of 4 is equal to 1. So to solve this, I need to find the value of x. So I'm going to subtract 1 on both sides. So I get x to the power of 4 minus 1 is equal to 0. Now from here, I'm going to rewrite this as x to the power of 2 times 2 minus 1 to the power of 2 is equal to 0. And the reason I did this is because now I can use the property a to the power of m times n is equal to a to the power of m to the power of n. So in this case, x to the power of 2 times 2 is equal to x to the power of 2 to the power of 2. So I have x to the power of 2 to the power of 2 minus 1 to the power of 2 is equal to 0. And now another property I can use is a squared minus b squared is equal to a plus b times a minus b. So in this case, a is x squared and b is 1. So I get x squared plus 1 times x squared minus 1 is equal to 0. Now this gives me two equations. I get x squared plus 1 is equal to 0 and x squared minus 1 equals 0. So let's first solve x squared minus 1 equals 0 because it's more simpler than x squared plus 1 equals 0. To solve this, I'm going to first add 1 on both sides. So I get x squared is equal to 1. And now I'm going to take the square root on both sides. Square root of x squared is x, and I get x equals positive or negative 1. Now for x squared plus 1 equals 0, I'm going to subtract 1 on both sides. So I get x squared is equal to negative 1. I'm going to again take the square root on both sides, but this time I get x is equal to positive or negative square root of negative 1. Now if you guys already know, the square root of negative 1 is equal to I. So I get x is equal to positive or negative I. So my four solutions to this problem are x equals 1, x equals negative 1, x equals positive I, and finally x equals negative I. So please make sure to like the video, subscribe, and please also share this video to your friends if you liked it. Thank you. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to solve the equation 4 to the power of x minus 2 to the power of x is equal to 240. So, my only variable in this equation is x, so that's what I'm going to be solving for. And now for my solution. So I'm going to first start with my equation, 4 to the power of x minus 2 to the power of x is equal to 240. And from here, I'm going to rewrite 4 as 2 squared. So I get 2 squared to the power of x minus 2 to the power of x is equal to 240. Now, I can use the property a to the power of m to the power of n is equal to a to the power of m times n. So in this case, 2 to the power of 2 to the power of x is going to equal 2 to the power of 2 times x. So I have this minus 2 to the power of x is equal to 240. And now I can rewrite 2 to the power of 2x as 2 to the power of x to the power of 2. So I get 2 to the power of x to the power of 2 minus 2 to the power of x is equal to 240. Now from here, I'm going to let 2 to the power of x equal to the variable y. So if I substitute in y for 2 to the power of x, I get y squared minus y is equal to 240. And now I can subtract 240 on both sides. So these two cancel out and I get y squared minus y minus 240 is equal to 0. So what I have here is a quadratic equation, and to find the solutions of this quadratic equation, I can use the quadratic formula. So if you guys already didn't know, the quadratic formula is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So in this case, looking over here, a is 1, b is negative 1, and c is negative 240. So I get y is equal to negative of negative 1 plus or minus the square root of negative 1 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 240 all over 2a, so 2 times 1. And this simplifies to 1 plus or minus the square root of 1 plus 960 over 2. And this turns into y is equal to 1 plus or minus the square root of 961 over 2. So now the square root of 961 is 31. So I get y equals 1 plus or minus 31 over 2. And now I have two solutions. I have y equals 1 plus 31 over 2, and y equals 1 minus 31 over 2. So my two solutions are 17 and negative 15.